Now we're going to look at a couple downloadable programs that will help you submit your PAD files to software directories. So you want to go to dummysoftware.com, and once you get there, click on the link to PadExpress. And what we'll do is we'll download a demo. The demo is going to allow you to submit to 20 or 30 different software directories for free. And I'm going to run the file so that I can install it and pass through the standard Windows warnings. And then I'm going to ask it to launch PadExpress for me. And here it is. Now this software is very, very, very simple to use. You just enter in the URL of your PAD file. And that's, remember, your website /toolbar /pad.xml. Click Add, and it's going to ask you to choose a category for your PAD file. Now remember, this was an internet tool for browsing. So let's see. Website tools, tools and utilities. Let's go with just internet tools and utilities. And we can select another category here. And again, this is the browser toolbar, and you want to find an appropriate category for it. Here's internet browser plugins. And these are just different ways that different software websites categorize everything that they list. So in this particular one, it would be internet browsers and plugins. And number 4, we'll look for something about the internet again. Browser tools. Okay. And remember, whoops, you're going to select whatever fits whatever software you're working with. And in this case, we were working with our browser toolbar, so we're going to select these categories that fit with what our tool is. Once you've done that, you highlight the URL and click Submit. It's going to give you a warning that if you're behind a firewall, you should disable it, but we're not behind one. And then you can see the status of what's going on here as it submits the PAD files to all of the different software sites. So I'm going to pause this while it goes through the submission, and once it's done, we'll take a look at what it's completed. When PadExpress is done, you'll see this screen. It's going to tell you that your submission is complete, and then if you want to purchase their program, you can submit to even more sites. If you look here and scroll through, you can see the list of sites that the software directories that your PAD file was submitted to. So all these places are now going to list your software and link back to your site. Next, we're going to go get another demo software, and this one is at devlab.net. devlab.net. And when you get there, it should look something like this. The software that we're going to download is called PromoSoft, and it does the exact same thing as PadExpress. It submits your PAD file to a bunch of download directories. So click the Click to Download button, and at that point you should be given an option screen to run the software. Go ahead and run it so that you can install it onto your computer. And when it's done, you'll get the standard Internet Explorer security warning, and we want to go ahead and continue to run the software. And then we'll go through a setup wizard just like all programs do, and we'll install it. And next we want to launch PromoSoft. And when you first open it, you'll get a screen that says that this is your first time running PromoSoft, and would you like to configure it? Go ahead and click Yes. And for SMTP server, you can go ahead and ignore that because we're just going to be working with the demos that it allows. And actually, I'll click Auto Hide Unusable Sites, and HTTP session expires after 60 seconds is the default. If you're on a dial-up connection, you might want to set that to something like 120. Now the first time you run this software, you should also go up to the main menu and select Update Site Databases, and it'll make sure that it's downloaded the most up-to-date information about the software directories for you. When it's done, go click Import PAD file to there, type all that data. So you want to find your PAD file. In my case, it was in my desktop in the toolbar folder, so you'll find wherever you put it on your computer and click Open. And then it's going to populate all of the fields within this software with the information that you already put into your PAD file. And we'll have to make a couple changes to fit with their format. So click on the Product Information tab. And one of the things that this software requires is a generic file name. The generic file name is what your file is called on your web host without your actual URL in front of it. So in our case, we used yourwebsite.com/toolbar/the file name. So we'll just add in the file name here. Your file name is the name of your toolbar.exe. So mine was social_media_daily.exe. And yours will be whatever the name of your toolbar is, .exe. One of the other things that this software requires is a URL to the file on your desktop. So click on the file icon and find your download, which is your toolbar name.exe, and click Open, and it will auto-populate that field for you as well. Next, click on the Accounts tab, and the login information it requires that you enter is just a default login and password that it will create for you at software directories that require a login. So the default, just put in whatever you like to use as a login, and the default email login is the email address that you've been using for your PAD submissions. And the password is whatever you want it to be for a login to these software sites. Next, click on the Category tab, and this is a little weird, but what they do is they auto-populate two of these categories, the first and the third, with the information that was already in your PAD file. This third one, they want you to write it in, and if you go here, you can see suggested categories. So we know that we're working with a browser toolbar, so I'm going to click Internet, and then click Browser Add-ons and Toolbars, and then it doesn't auto-populate it for you, so you have to type it in. So do Internet, Browser, Add-ons, and Plugins. And this is just a write-in field, so just type in whatever fits the software that you're working with. Next, click on the Sites tab and go to the bottom and click Select All, and it's going to select all of the sites that you can submit to, so it'll place little checkboxes to them. And of course, in the full version, you can submit to more. Then click on the Submit tab. Click the Start button, and first it's going to check your PAD file and validate all the information, make sure that all of the screenshots that we created and the URLs and the PAD file and the download URLs are all exactly where they're supposed to be and working properly. When it's done with the validation, it's going to start contacting those software directories that are in its Sites tab that we checked and start submitting your PAD file to them. You'll get a report at the end that lets you know exactly how many were successful and how many were unsuccessful, so that you know exactly where everything stands. And in the meantime, we'll head on over to another software PAD submission site and download their demo so that we can submit our PAD file to even more software directories. This site is called PadAdcom, and you need to head on over there. When you get there, it should look something like this, and click on the download button. You'll be brought to another page where you can click the Download PAD Add Now link. And this is in a zip file, so we need to save it to our desktop. And it's going to download it, and once it's done downloading, we'll go to our desktop and unzip it and install the software. Go ahead and extract the file wherever you want it. Like I said, like to use the desktop so that I know exactly where it is. And then you'll be given the opportunity to install the file. So I'm going to go ahead and run it. And we're going to go through a standard Windows installation dialog. And when it's done, you click Finish. And then double click to open the software. Now this actually lets you pull the PAD file from your website and then it auto-populates the form. So you need to enter in your URL to your PAD file. So it was your website, /toolbar /pad.xml. And then you click the Get button and it'll populate these fields. And then we need to add a category down here. So this is our browser toolbar, so we're going to select browser tools and browser add-ons. And for those sites that require a username and password, it'll ask you to create a username and password. And just use whatever you like to use. You have to enter in your password twice. The RegNow and ShareIt ID can be left blank because those are only if you are using an affiliate program with RegNow or ShareIt. You come up here to the main screen and you can see a list of all the different software directories that this works with, and because we are in a demo we won't be able to submit to all of those, but we can submit to 28 of them for free. So you click on Submit and Auto Submit All, and then click the Start button in this window that comes up. And it's going to begin submitting your file to all of these software directories. Now when it's done, you're going to get a little report and it's going to tell you exactly what happened and how many were successful so that you know. And next I'm going to show you one other resource for you to submit to even more PAD sites if you have the time and the inclination to do so. First, before we get into that though, I want to explain a little something about how the software directories work. We talked about how one of the goals of a software directory for the owner is to have the biggest and the best software directory out there, to have the most amount of softwares listed. They have the biggest directory, it gets the most traffic, and therefore creates the most advertising revenue for them. That's what they're in it for. So what a lot of them do is they go, first of all, to the ASP.shareware.org/PAD